Aisha, the Justice Department announcing charges in an unprecedented fraud crackdown. We're talking $350 million worth in 17 cases across 7 different states in the Southeast. Fraud czar Colin McDonald saying one of the alleged fraudsters even used our taxpayer dollars to buy herself a trip to Egypt.
Scott used money to pay for a trip to Egypt and to buy a Land Rover. Things that the average United States citizen would never be able to dream of affording. And yet you all paid for it. You all paid for that Land Rover.
For more on this, we are joined now by former Deputy Assistant Attorney General John Yoo. John, good to see you on this Friday. I want to talk about that woman we just saw smiling on the camel with her taxpayer-funded trip here. Her name, according to the feds, is Chiquisa Scott. She was the CEO of a charter school in Louisiana. They say she stole millions of dollars of federal tax dollars to give herself lavish trips, buy a vehicle, pay off her family members through fraudulent invoices. Her case, one of many. We heard Vice President J.D. Vance announce this morning that so far the fraud task force has identified $230 billion worth of fraud, a jaw-dropping number. John, nobody likes paying taxes. We all hate it, but we expect our tax dollars to at least go to things that are responsible and that are worth it. Where has the government been in recent years? All these cases popping up, were they just asleep at the wheel?
Yeah, sadly, Bill, one thing you've seen when you read the Justice Department's documents filed here, that there's rampant fraud going on in these programs, and people are using them to buy themselves luxury vacations. There's even pictures in there of the sports cars and the buildings and houses and properties that are being bought by these fraudsters. It's a terrible thing. But the second thing, Bill, I think it goes to your question, this important question: why isn't the government doing a better job of stopping it? So this Justice Department investigation, J.D. Vance's fraud task force, is a good start. But we're talking here about a few $1 million here, a few $1 million there. The estimates are that you are talking about tens of billions of dollars in fraud that are being lost when you and I, pay taxes and the government spends the money for worthwhile projects. And so what needs to happen next, I think, is not only that the Justice Department needs to ramp up its work here, but it needs more cooperation from the states. Because if you dig in and look at what the Justice Department released, is that there are some states that are cooperating with the search for fraud, but there are other states. And here I'd point out my home state of California. There are states which are not participating, which are not helping the federal government get the leads, track down the people and companies that are stealing tens of billions of dollars from the American public.
Yeah, to your point, most of the fraud headlines we've seen in recent weeks and months have been in blue states, right? Minnesota, California. This latest bust we're talking about right now was largely red states in the Southeast. We can pull up a map right here. It was 7 different states. You can see some of the dollar amounts that some of the fraud that was found in those different states. But it goes to the idea that fraud isn't a partisan sort of thing, right? It happens in red or blue states, and this Department of Justice, working with local states, is going to try to find and weed it out any way they can, no matter what the politics are. And I thought there was a good point made by the state AGs in both North and South Carolina, red and blue, talking about working together when it comes to fraud. Take a listen.
I'm an elected Republican. My colleague to the north of me is an elected Democrat. None of that mattered.
This is what a united front looks like. We agree on this. The acceptable level of fraud is 0.
John, the point is fighting fraud should be completely bipartisan.
I agree, Bill, it should be, but I'm afraid, I worry that it's not.
Yeah.
Look, the Justice Department doesn't run the police offices in the whole country. The way to really root out this fraud is you need cooperation with state and local police, because they're the ones who know the people. They're the ones who get the initial tips most often. And it worries me where you don't see cooperation is California, Illinois, New York, 3 of our biggest states by population. I think areas where you're seeing a lot of fraud in these kind of programs, but their attorney general, you don't see their attorney generals. You don't see their state and local people listed in the Justice Department as cooperating. Right now, unfortunately, you're going to see these kinds of cases where you have cooperation. A lot of them are red states. You need to see these blue states step up. And if they don't, then I think the Trump administration will have to consider tougher measures like cutting off funds for some of these states if they're not getting fraud and abuse and waste under control.
One thing is crystal clear. The Trump administration has decided to make this a top priority for them. We're hearing about these huge prosecutions virtually every week at this point. Here's what the DOJ fraud czar has to say about making it a priority. Take a listen.
Right now, we have leadership in place who have decided to make this a priority, to give the tools to the agents that have been laboring in this field, to give the tools to the prosecutors to make sure that we can scale our efforts.
John, it sounds to me the implication is the prior administration, meaning the Biden administration, didn't make this a priority.
Sadly, I think that's true. You read reports where, especially during COVID and then the years after, under the Biden Inflation Reduction Act, money was just thrown out the door with very few controls, very few follow-up by the federal government on how the states were distributing the money. That's why I'm afraid states like mine in California, you're seeing a lot of reports there, because I don't think the federal government or the California authorities had much interest in trying to make sure the money was properly spent. And maybe it's going to take more efforts years later, but hopefully the federal government will catch up with these people, because we need to establish a deterrent to prevent people from thinking they can steal our money and go take vacations in Egypt and buy Land Rovers from doing this again in the future.
Yeah, just makes your blood boil as a taxpayer when you see those pictures. Big smile on their face, a trip paid for by you and I, the taxpayers, and everybody watching today. John Yoon, great to see you this afternoon, and happy Friday to you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.